America is built off of certain ideals such as freedom and liberty. And one of the main ideals or dreams that has actually built America is the American dream. So that's an illusion of social mobility and the idea that you could start off from rags and you could go to riches. So as seen in the images here, everybody is dreaming and everybody wants some sort of social mobility and they want to be able to start at the bottom and to go to the top. But this isn't seen as something that only Americans can achieve. It's seen as something that can only be achieved within America. And so as stories developed across like the globe of people who went from rags to riches in the United States of America, such as John D. Rockefeller, who actually was a child came from a family of 6 and who grew up to be one of the richest men in America and actually died as one of the richest men in the world. Lots of people were like trying to go to America and they wanted to achieve these goals, and they created a new wave of immigration towards America for this opportunity. The sad thing is that once these immigrants came, they were actually forced out and they were excluded from American society due to nativism. And so nativism is actually synonymous to isolationism because Americans, they isolate other like cultures and they isolate other countries, and they tell them that they cannot assimilate to their own, and they tell them that they cannot become an American, they cannot go off through these American opportunities if they are not American. They come up with an idea of like a birthright for only Americans and only if you are a citizen. And so it forces this idea of nativism forces some cultures into certain communities. Like it forces them out of like the American ideals and out of the American community, and they try to find home within themselves. So they look towards each other and other immigrants to find that home and to mirror like their home that they had left, because the immigrants, they like leave everything behind in order to come and pursue like this American dream, only to realize that they're going to be faced with prejudice and bias, and they're going to be given the shorthand of the stick all the time. And so they create enclaves. So enclaves are pretty much communities based off of these groups. They're communities that only have one type of cultural person within it. If you look around the room right now, everybody is pretty much tied by some sort of cultural unity. Everybody here has like some sort of like cultural tie to somebody else. So that's what enclaves are, because these people, they're rejected by the community, and then they're forced into their own and to make mirrors of what they had at home. There's places that you could go to now that have like restaurants based off of like how it was at home. They have like bread shops based off how it was at home, and they just try to mimic that, and they try to bring whatever they left to America because of this false idea that they could have achieved so much, and then when they realize that they can't, they just go to each other. Yeah. And so what can we do? In regards to a political scheme and a political aspect, we can try to make more equal representation within the House of Representatives or within the Senate. I understand that these are based off of population, these are based off of equality, but the thing is that, like, honestly, it's not, like, let's say for California, there's a high demographic of, like, Latin Americans, and then there's a lot of Central Americans, people like that, and yet in the House, that part, like, those people are not represented, like, they don't have their voice heard, they don't have anything heard, because people, like, they come here and they'd rather be struggling here and be at the bottom here than go back home and be struggling even more. Because in America, what they believe is that even to be at the bottom, you're somehow better off here than you were at home. And so we need to make sure that those people's voice are represented and that they actually have something to look forward to, and like policies are going to be made off of their behalf. Because they shouldn't be given the lesser hand, and they shouldn't be left behind just based off of their community or based off of their like society. And then we should recognize the demographic shifts, and we should recognize that these minority groups are actually becoming one of the higher populations within the United States of America. They're actually going to become one of the highest developing cultures within America, and we should realize that this is actually happening and that we have to do something in order to help these people. And then we can also change the American face in media. So as you guys know, like off of social media and off of shows, like there's always people like there's always shows that are based in Los Angeles, and yet they don't show the same demographics that are in Los Angeles, like 90210 and things like that. It's always based off of like some big city like Los Angeles or New York. The example is Friends, and that's one of the most iconic shows that everybody pretty much knows of, and it's based in New York. And yet, even though New York has a high demographic of Puerto Ricans, there is no Puerto Ricans. There are no Puerto Ricans. They're not represented. Their only minority friend is Joey, and then Joey is given like the short end of the stick because he's not as well educated as everybody else. He's left behind. He's dependent on his co-stars, his counterparts. He's dependent on them in order to actually become something, to know what's going on. And then this is also seen in the Big Bang Theory. So for those of you who don't know what the Big Bang Theory is, just pretty much a show based off of a group of scientists and then their neighbor. And then even though, yes, it's a group of scientists and it is empowering for them to have a minority, and minority star within it, which is Raj Kundapalli, even though it is like empowering to have that, it's also very deconstructive because out of all the other friends, he's the only one who isn't able to speak correctly. He's the only one who has a social impediment that forces him to not be able to talk to women. He's the only one who's, again, left with the shortcomings. So we could change the aspects of these shows that we have seen like throughout time, such as like that 70s show with Fez, where again he was dependent on the other people, where again he was made fun of because he was different. We could change the face of these shows and show the reality of what it is within these little communities. We could show that Los Angeles isn't just a white community. We could show the fact that Los Angeles is actually a community that has every single array of culture and every single array of people. And we could stop making them seem so deconstructed. We could stop making America seem like it only has one face when it has a face of many. And so, my name is Leslie Ardon, and I talk to you about enclaves within the United States and their impact on societal growth.